Channel Islands Sports Awards were back at Beausejour this year with a glitzy black tie event celebrating the very best of Channel Islands sports. Unsurprisingly, after dominating much of the year itself, the 2023 Island Games did dominate much of the night, but it was not the only exceptional sporting achievement recognised. The main award, the Channel Islands Sports Personality of the Year, had a shortlist of 4 people. Sam Culverwell, nominated for his cycling at the Island Games, as well as other events such as his bronze medal finish at the British Gravel Championships in September. Josh Lewis, Island Games gold medalist for the triathlon, also nominated for his 5th place finish at the Ironman World Championships last year. Guernsey footballer Alex Scott might not have been in green for the Island Games, but every time he stepped on the pitch for Bristol City and then Bournemouth in the Premier League, he's impressed local fans and those in the higher echelons of the English game. Hannah Silcock was the only nominee from Jersey for the Sports Personality of the Year award, having won gold medals in the singles and doubles at the Island Games table tennis before moving to the UK's Grantham College to further her training. She was also Jersey's first ever women's British champion. With voting open for the Channel Islands Sports Personality of the Year award throughout the night, we saw other winners honoured too. First up was the Judges' Award for Achievement. While it may have seemed like an obvious one to the many people watching, the recipients were taken by surprise when they were called to the stage.
Julia Bowditch, Island Games Director.
Colin LeConte, IT Director.
Amanda Hibbs, Communications and Events.
And none of you knew you were getting this award tonight, so you just thought you were here for a nice night out, Julia?
Yeah, we thought, and then when I saw it come on the screen, I was like, oh no, it must be for all the volunteers or something like that. I didn't think that, I had no idea. Like looking back now with a bit of perspective, maybe even 6 months after, I think you can really appreciate what a kind of logistical achievement it was, and also we talk about it all the time, but all the volunteers and all the organising committee, just getting 1,000 volunteers registered and trained and uniformed, just even that kind of small bit is such a large piece of work.
It really is. And so IT, logistically speaking, that must have been one hell of a challenge.
We always said if nobody moans, then actually it's been a success. So we teamed up with Shaw, and Shaw did an amazing job to provide gigabit fibre to all the different venues and gave a SIM to every competitor that came over, which made a big difference. So we were involved in the results service, which was obviously a big area of it, and even live streaming, which I went to with Amanda. So we were delighted the way it went, and the overall feeling is just great to get the feedback that it was a great success, and everyone's very pleased with it.
Okay, and then Amanda, obviously you were involved in many different areas then, as well as Colin just said.
Yep.
But you did a lot of work with the volunteers as well, is that right?
Oh yeah, we did. So we've mentioned so many times already, but we couldn't have done it without those volunteers. And we worked really hard. Actually, we did work really hard. We didn't have to work that hard because they were such. The team spirit was just amazing all the way through. So that was fantastic.
When the guys asked you before, you said obviously you didn't get to see much of the week because you were working so hard behind the scenes. But if you can just remind us then, what was your highlight, maybe not of the week, but of the whole Island Games event?
I think it's just, like I said before, just the whole atmosphere and the way it brought the island together, and everybody had a smile on their face, and it was just lovely just to see that and have that atmosphere.
And there was a lot of talk, wasn't there, about the legacy of the Island Games. What do you think the legacy was?
Again, I think it's just what a community can do when they all come together and are working towards one goal. And that's what we achieved with the support of the people from Guernsey. And that, to me, is a very, very special memory, and it was just a privilege to be involved with it.
And obviously we've seen a continued uptick in young people doing sports locally. That must be a great legacy for you all to be able to see, the after effect of the Island Games.
Yeah, when you see cycling and basketball and all these events, they're all talking about a record uptake. I think people are inspired by the whole event, and I think that's great. Then we've also left the legacy of the IT side of it as well. So there's the Wi-Fi around different places that didn't have it before. So I think the whole thing, and even introducing people like Sailing now have tracking systems that they can reach out to for tracking some of their events, which opens it up to the whole public. So there's lots of different elements which we're very proud of.
Would you do it again if you could?
I did it in 2003.
Oh, right, okay.
So 20 years later, so I'm not sure about 20 years' time.
And then Julia, again, actually, same question for you, because I know you've been involved with some other absolutely huge global sports events. Something like the Island Games, would you be interested in getting involved again? Or
like Colin, I worked on it in 2003. I looked after the volunteers then. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, although it's always nice to give someone a chance to do it again. But I was just going to mention about Amanda and Colin. I think they were underselling their Amanda to the opening ceremony. I knew once we had the opening ceremony, we could all relax because we knew that all the islands were so happy and elated about it. It kind of made all our jobs a bit easier because they were coming from such a positive space that they couldn't, there would be no complaining. And again, the same with the streaming. It was the most streamed Island Games. I think we had over 300,000 hits on YouTube, and we had people calling us if they're, something, they changed the match or something like that, calling us from the other side of the world. So I think that kind of, when you see that it's like the community of the Island Games, I think you can kind of then see the kind of impact it has.
Because people talk about the Island Games family, and there are competitors that know each other from games after games after games, and actually you must have felt that then if you had people phoning up saying, well, I'm trying to watch so-and-so from this island in this event, it must have really felt like a family pulling together.
Yeah, and it really was, and we were lucky that you could even react to that kind of stuff as well, so we were lucky that we could react to like events here with basketball being so busy. We were lucky to be able to put it on a screen outside. So I think that was one thing that kind of, although we were a small team, we were quite agile and we were able to kind of react when we could. So I think it was, like I said, working on big events, we have thousands of people kind of working on this big thing. But we had a team that we could, that you could phone them up and immediately something could be done or something could be changed. So I think that was, unbelievable that.
And then just finally to ask you, so we know that some of the other award nominees tonight were the absolute stars of the Island Games, Sam Culverwell and Josh Lewis, obviously, for the main award tonight. How do you feel when you see those athletes? I mean, they did so phenomenally well on the Island Games stage, and now they're also being recognised for it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's so nice to talk about what it meant to them, and that kind of makes you makes you feel so happy about it because it kind of impacts them on a personal level as well, and they want to move forward. So I think kind of that makes you kind of appreciate what we actually did for that week in July. So and obviously just really proud of what the team did, and again how many volunteers and especially the road events. Without all those people, I used to know how many roads were closed. It's like 192 or something like that. I'm trying to remember the number of signs and diversions, but that meant that one person had to be at every junction, basically, to do that. So it's just kind of that level of detail, and the fact that you didn't have to ask, you only asked people once, and it was done. So which you wouldn't necessarily get on another event.
No, definitely. Yeah. So a very well-deserved award for tonight, and you say you didn't know it was coming, but congratulations to you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The Channel Islands Sports Awards always brings a special guest with it, and this year was an inspirational interview with Richard Parkes. The former Welsh international and rugby union player retired from the sport after injury, and then he fought through depression to discover a new path in life. That path has taken him to both the North and South Poles and many places in between, including climbing the highest mountain on each of the 7 continents. Back to the distribution of the awards, and the 2023 Shore Rising Star was Asa Tribe of Jersey Cricket, a young man who signed a 2-year deal in 2023 at County Side Glamorgan. His dad accepted his award on his behalf, while Asa, trying to speak to us through some technical troubles from Glamorgan, seemed pleased with his win. The Grant Thornton Team of the Year was the Jersey Commonwealth Youth Games team. Together they shared 5 medals between their swimmers and triathletes during their time in the Caribbean. The Michael Lucas Sporting Hero Award again came as a surprise to its winner, Steve Yates of Guernsey Archery.
I'm Zoe Gray and I'm Steve's niece.
I'm Lisa Gray and I'm also Steve's niece. We were just kind of used to get him here basically without him knowing, which was definitely a challenge in itself, but it paid off and he had no idea whatsoever.
And it must be so nice for you then as family, but also as archers in the team with Steve then, to see his achievements and his effort and dedication recognised in this way.
Yeah, I mean he loves what he does, and you can't ask for someone better in the club, and everyone will say the same thing about him. Everybody knows him, everybody loves him for who he is.
And it's not just about the Island Games. I know last time I spoke to you both, it was at the Island Games, and it's been referenced a lot tonight. But this man has been involved with the sport for decades.
Yes, a very long time. I was going to say, this award really has been a long time coming because he's been in the sport longer than probably a lot of other people in their sports. You know, he's been shooting since longer than I've been alive, so that's a very long time. So yeah, it's definitely well deserved, and it's definitely been a long time coming for him, and yeah, we couldn't be prouder really.
I've just been chatting to your nieces. Obviously they're very proud of you, not only as family members, but because they are also involved in your sport. And I understand it was a surprise to everyone that you were going to win this award tonight.
It was certainly a surprise to me. I didn't know anything about it at all, but apparently, my niece did, and that's why she dragged me along here. But yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
So you didn't know you were going to get this award, but now you've got it in your hand, as I can see it right there. How do you feel?
I feel really proud, humbled. I can't really express it, but yeah, I'm just amazed because, as I say, it's a sport. I do it because I love it, and if I'm making that impression on people that they want to nominate me for something like this, then I must be doing something right.
Indeed, and you must have been doing something right for a long time, because I understand you've been involved in archery longer than your niece Zoe says, longer than she's been alive.
Yeah.
So a little while.
34 years I've been involved.
Okay. So what has kept you going for that long?
I just love it. I mean, it's a very inclusive sport. So, I mean, I've been there at the higher levels and done that, and won Island Games medals and won national medals and stuff. But you can do it at whatever level you like. So you can go for the big things if you want to put the hours in. But if you want to just have a shoot on a Wednesday and just enjoy yourself, you can do that as well. But it's very family orientated. Like I say, I've got my nieces and sister involved, but we've got parents and daughters, parents and sons, whole families that do it together. And it's lovely to see.
And if anyone is interested in getting involved then, so it's Wednesday evenings, is it? How do people get involved?
The best way to get involved is to message us on our Facebook page, Bowman of Guernsey, and we'll pick that up, and we will try and run beginners courses for it. But we had a big influx over the Island Games from the Island Games last year, so we're worried that we're going to get too successful, if you know what I mean.
That's the thing, isn't it? The Island Games had such a fantastic legacy in getting people involved in sport. It must have made life busier then for people like you who are at the helm of these sporting associations.
Yeah, I mean, the Island Games was busy enough. I didn't really see much archery that week because I was organising it. So I was organising the whole week. Didn't see much, but it was a great week, and we had a lot of interest after that. So we ran a beginner's course. We had 14 that have joined, so we're now up to something like 60 members, which is really busy. And we've got another course running in March, and we'll probably have the same amount from that. So.
And all ages, as you said, it's an inclusive sport, and you've got archers of all ages. Yeah,
we take them. We only take people over 10, but a lot of them are sort of families. So, we've got a mum, dad, and 2 daughters. We've got, fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, whatever. So it's all ages, and whatever level you want to do it at.
The Coach of the Year award went to a man who had led his team to Island Games glory, but had also built up a wealth of successes before that. Elliot Powell, former coach of St Peter FC in Jersey and now manager of the Island men's side, was named Coach of the Year. So the night has built to a crescendo on the back of the sporting successes achieved by each of the nominees and the award winners in each category. The Island Games has seemed to dominate, but that 1 week of golden glory for many was not the be-all and end-all, with decades of effort recognised in Steve Yates' achievements in archery and the promise of young sports stars like Asa Tribe recognised. The team efforts of the Jersey Commonwealth Youth Games team and the talent of football coach Elliot Powell rewarded. The amazing combined efforts of everyone involved in organising the wonderful 2023 Island Games was reflected in the award for achievement. But it wasn't the Island Games which dominated the final award of the night. The Channel Islands Sports Personality of the Year was Alex Scott. The young footballer spoke to us from Bournemouth while his mum and granddad took to the stage to accept his award.
Definitely Alan.
As he's got.
Right, so it's Grandad and Mum. Were
No.
you expecting him to win though?
No, I think he's up against some really all the nominees are
Sam
fantastic.
Calderwell, for me, I thought Sam would win.
Really?
Yeah, genuinely.
So when your grandson's name was read out,
Oh.
how did that feel?
The tears.
Yes, we all saw, we heard.
Yeah, tears come down.
Yeah.
It's
We,
a bit special.
It's been a long journey, and poor Alex has had setbacks with his injury. And going back to when he was released from Southampton, the impact that had. Obviously, if you look back, it was for the right reasons. He got to stay here. He got to get back in touch with his friends, and I think it made him realise that if he wanted to continue doing football, he'd have to leave the islands, because as much as he enjoyed playing Prio and then GFC, he's always wanted to be a footballer, even from when he used to sleep with a football next to him, didn't he? He used to wear a kit under any clothes that he had to wear if we were going anywhere. There was a kit underneath. So it's always been there. But I think just when he left Southampton, I think it was a time he was ready. Bournemouth for a year, didn't quite settle in there, and then when he went back, and also must say thank you to Tony Vance, GFC, Brian Tinian at Bristol City, everybody that's been a part of this journey. And then of course he got injured, bless him, that was painful. And when I saw him on that pitch the second time, when I saw how upset he was, and Papa will agree with me, it's very rare you see Alex upset like that, and I knew it was bad as soon as I saw him.
And it was painful physically, but obviously the emotion and the mental pain there as well for him and his family.
I mean, an ACL injury for any sports person is horrendous.
Yeah.
And Alex's brother's had one as well, and I've felt for both of them, and it's so hard, isn't it?
Any sportsman's only a minute away from an injury that could totally destroy it.
And that's why every time either of my sons play football, I always feel nervous, and you never know. But like Richard was saying earlier, your sport, your career is only however many, 500 hours or whatever it is, and so you've just got to get her out there and enjoy it.
Absolutely, and he does seem to be enjoying it so much, but there's more to come. I mean, he's talking, he mentioned playing for England there.
Wow,
he's got a lot of hours to come. But I have to say, that guy,
Richard
Parks,
amazing.
What a man.
Yes.
I'm in awe of that guy.
Inspiration.
And I'm
really.
an Irish rugby supporter.
Yeah. No, but that man, amazing. Why so many
Lots
things
of
he was
messages
saying.
there for us all to take, but particularly the sportsmen.
Yeah.
Sports people here tonight.
An inspiration for a human being.
Yeah.
And the family aspect as well. Like he was talking about all being involved. Like we were all involved at St Martin's Football Club. I was volunteering in the canteen for many years and still do. Everyone goes to support Alex and my other son locally. We all go away. All our friends and family go and visit him over in the UK. It's brilliant. That's our best holidays.
Remember Butlins?
We used to go to Butlins.
Oh, what a trip.
We used to go to Butlins, and both our boys played in a Butlins tournament, and we've got really good memories as families of going away, having great fun, and at the same time the boys were enjoying their sport. We've got so many people to thank.
And that's the main thing, isn't it? You've got to enjoy the sport.
Fun.
Fun is the key word.
Absolutely. Fun is the most important thing about it all. Yeah. Ask that guy Parks. Fun was the most important thing that he enjoyed, even with all the hard times. Fun was the most important thing.
And I think
That's
desire.
really
It doesn't matter what sport you do. I think you can be coached, but if you've got that desire, you can't teach desire to, you've either got that in you or you haven't. And I think Alex, having been released and then being injured twice badly, it's still that desire. It's still that, he needs to play football. And we get it totally, and we love it, and it's great for us to go over there.